Hi, I'm Jason, the Curious Psychiatrist. Last week, I talked about how we view sleep, how we used to sleep, and why we sleep. Today, I'm going to be a bit more practical and talk about how we sleep and how to sleep. So, let's get going. To understand sleep, you first need to understand what is the circadian rhythm or cycle. It's a rhythm or cycle that repeats itself every 24 hours, and nearly all living things, including us, have such a cycle. In our case, we have a 24-hour clock in a region of our brains called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and it maintains the rhythm and controls our functions. A set of genes called clock and BMAL are the keepers of this clock, and they maintain the 24-hour rhythm. Well, actually, it's closer to 25 hours, through a simple but brilliant method, which was discovered by similarly brilliant researchers 30 years ago. The details of the mechanism are beyond the scope of this talk, and I just want to say that a simple but precise clock resides in your head. The clock usually keeps the same time and manages a host of different functions, such as these. However, there are also some ways to tweak it, as those of you who've suffered from jet lag have probably found out. One is melatonin. Melatonin levels are controlled by light and increase to help us sleep when it's dark and decrease to wake us up when it's light. So if you're exposed to bright light in the evening, then your melatonin levels stay low, your rhythm is delayed, and you fall asleep later. On the other hand, if you stand in bright sunshine early in the morning, it lowers your melatonin levels and helps you wake up. Another is body temperature. At night as we sleep, our core body temperature falls, and anything that gets in the way of sleep. This is why a cool but not cold room temperature is recommended for sleep, and a warm shower in the morning helps us wake up. Another is hunger. We're here thanks to natural selection, and a species that went to sleep hungry and woke up in a weakened state would be in an unfavorable position to be selected. So we have a mechanism controlled by something called orexin that helps us stay up when we are hungry. The last and most important of these is adenosine, through which coffee exerts its effects. Adenosine is the A of the 4 nucleotides GTCA of DNA and forms the AAA battery of our body and is needed in a bazillion places all the time. Its levels go up if you stay awake, increasing sleep pressure, which can be thought of as the urge to sleep. And if you sleep, its levels go down, relieving you of this pressure or urge. Caffeine is what's called a adenosine receptor antagonist, which means it can trick the body into thinking its adenosine levels are lower than they actually are. But it doesn't actually reduce adenosine levels, so it merely postpones sleepiness rather than actually making it go away. Lastly, I'd like to explain how all this works together. Sleep isn't a switch that's turned on or off. Sleep is a weight or pressure on one side of a seesaw, with wake on the other side. The various mechanisms I mentioned before exert pressure on both sides of the seesaw, and when it tilts towards the sleep side, we feel sleepy. And when it tilts the other way, we feel awake and alert. Now, I'm going to talk about some ways that can help you sleep. But if you really need help, please go see a sleep specialist because a lot of these methods need to be personalized. As my professor told me, sleep isn't something that you can achieve. It's something that comes to you when you're relaxed and ready. Some methods can help you get relaxed and ready. So, here we go. Number 1, lie in bed only when you're sleeping. Your body is a good learner, and it'll take cues from your surroundings to decide whether it should be sleeping or not. If you spend your time in bed only sleeping, then your body will take cues from your bed and bedroom as signals to sleep. On the other hand, if you stay in bed while you're awake to watch TV, to read, to use your cell phone, or simply because you can't sleep, your body will take the same cues as signals to wake up and actually wake up. If you can't sleep, get out of bed, as staying will make it worse. You can go back when you're sleepy again. Number 2, keep a fixed schedule regardless of what day it is. If you keep a fixed schedule during the week and then mess it up during the weekend, this will disrupt your week cycle and the sleep signals from your brain. Number 3, do not keep a clock nearby. When you wake up in the middle of the night, what's the first thing you do? You see what time it is. And then what happens? You become disappointed and worried. It's not going to help. So, if you wake up, don't look at the clock. Just forget about the time and go back to sleep. It helped me a lot, and I'm sure it'll help you. Number 4, as I said before, bright lights in the evening will stop your melatonin levels from increasing. This includes smartphones, TVs, and all other types of screens. So, avoid them. Number 5, keep the temperature in your room cool but not cold, and certainly not warm. Help your body cool so you can fall asleep. Number 6, do not go to bed hungry, as this will keep you awake. However, if you're too full, this will also keep you awake. Number 7, watch when and how you consume caffeine. Caffeine is in a surprising number of drinks, and a habitual drink late in the afternoon could stop you from falling asleep. The effects of caffeine last about 6 to 8 hours, so I avoid it after about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Sleeping isn't easy for a lot of people. It's partially due to our culture and partially due to genetics. But trust me, you don't have to live like that. If you have a problem, please get help. And for everyone else, good night and sweet dreams. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.